Hey guys, I'm back with another Gravity Daze video for you today. I had a lot of demand. People want to see a lot more of this game, which I'm more than happy to show off. I will also be reviewing the game very soon in probably my next blog video coming up also later today, hopefully. But let's get right to it. This video will be showcasing the areas of Gravity Daze, okay? So I will not be talking about any spoilers or anything like that, but be warned, I am showing off the areas. All of the main areas in the game. Again, the game is open world, so you can't really gather too much just based on looking at the areas. But for those of you who are a little bit, spoiler avert, yeah, you might want to just go check out some of my other videos. Anyway, why don't we get right into it? This is the area that you saw a lot in my first video. This is Old Noah. It's kind of the residential district, I guess. Just fly around and show you that. And again, the amount of things there are to explore are staggering. You can see the other districts in the backgrounds here, 1, 2, and 3. And you can fly directly to them right now if you want to, seamlessly, which is pretty awesome. Anyway, so this is Old Noah. Get some volume for you. And yeah, you can see the houses. It's kind of got this orange color to it. No buildings are really too incredibly tall here. You'll see you've also got a few things in the sky here, like a sky TV. And of course I can roll in and land on that. Yeah. So this is Old Noah. And again, you probably saw a lot of this area in my last video as well. So I'm not going to go too crazy here. But this is the opening area of the game. Got a little fountain here in the middle. So yeah, that's Old Noah. Okay, and again, yeah, residential type area. So let's move to Préjeune, which I also showed briefly in the video, which is the second area here. And Préjeune is the entertainment district, which means that it has awesome music and lots of women of the night walking around. So here we are. This is Préjeune. So you can see you have a lot of people walking around. There are still houses and things like that. Get overhead here and give you a better view. And here in Préjeune, there is actually a pretty big school area as well, which is pretty sweet. Again, all seamlessly done. Swoop in and collect some coinage there. But as you can see here, this is the school. So there's a lot of coins and things here that I haven't collected yet, but I will get going on that. I actually already did platinum the game. And my character's levels are maxed, my stats are maxed, but it never hurts in the future. You never know what kind of downloadable content is going to come. So anyway, keep that gem count up. But yeah, this is the school part of Préjeune here, and let's see. Let me pull up my map here. Okay, yeah, we can head out and down, I guess. Oh yeah, it goes across the river over there. I just don't want to end up flying over into another area already, and sell Préjeune short, because I think this area is really awesome. So this is the more entertainment side of things. You can see there's like a Ferris wheel up there. And of course, you can fly right onto it, hang out for a bit. And you can see there's a lot of people in this district as well. Lots of people hanging out. Even some hotties like this girl here. Anyway, that is Préjeune there. So I really like the music in this area. You can see this area kind of has a dark or a purple kind of motif. Each area kind of seems to have a color that they sort of associate with it, which is pretty cool. Yeah, why don't we head down. And next up we'll go to Industrie, which, if you can't tell, is the industrial district. This is kind of the third area of the game here. Some pretty awesome music here too, actually, a little more serious here. And this area does have a lot of like tall buildings, tall like plants and things like that, basically. So you can see like this, like a tall tower here. And if we go over here, it's even taller. So you can see the scope of the game is massive. I mean, even flying at full speed, it takes quite a while to get to certain places. I mean, if I just walked it, it would take forever. So let me head down here into the city and show you that. Or I could just head into a crevice and show you that. So you can see, yeah, it's kind of this whole industrial feel here, of course. Lots of these pillars. You can see that the color here is basically yellow, you know, kind of that foggy yellow. And this is Industrie. Yeah, lots of cool stuff here, actually. Platforms like this. Yeah, so a pretty interesting area. And one thing I haven't really been showing so far, I kind of showed it in my last video, but most of these areas have like a decent underbelly. Like if I head down here, like there's a lot to do down here. Like obviously there's gems and things like that, but there are hidden, like not really hidden, but little nooks and crannies, entrances and things like that you can head into and see lots more than you would if you just stayed up here on the surface. So there's a ton to explore. It would take me forever to show off a video of like every single part of every area in the game, but rest assured it is awesome. Kind of head under here, and you can see, yeah, again, there's a lot of gems I haven't picked up, but I won't bother with that now. So yeah, that's Industrie, again, the kind of industrial district there. Now let's head to the last of the 4 cities, but not the last of the game's areas. I'll get to that in a second. The game is even bigger than it lets on here. And this last one is called Van de Centarie, something like that anyway, kind of a long name there, but this is downtown. This is the downtown district. Skyscrapers galore. It's pretty cool. Again, great music. This has a green sky here. And yeah, just one point I want to drive home about the game is that the music is just incredible. Soundtracks just went up for pre-order on Amazon.jp, and I got my order in like right away. This game's music really blew me away. So again, this is downtown. So you have like some really high skyscrapers like this that of course you can head to the top of. Not sure if this is the tallest one or not. Let's take a look. Yeah, maybe. But anyway, yeah, it's a downtown district, obviously, so you have a lot of tall buildings over here. And of course you can head all the way down. And you will see, people have been asking, like, what's the pop-up like, and things like that. There is pop-up. You know, in a game like this, when you're flying through the air so quickly at certain things, it's not surprising to have some pop-up. I will say that most of it's not too glaring. Occasionally you'll get something that pops up really late, and you're just kind of like, wow, where the hell did that come from? But you can't really fault the game too much, considering, like, you know, the technical masterpiece of this whole thing, being on a handheld, first of all, and just everything it does. If you play through the full game, which I hope that many of you will, you'll see what I'm talking about. You know, I can show off the cities, but in certain missions, the way that they show off the cities, the way that you have to do certain things in the cities, one mission in particular, I think it's right around mission 13, it's just insane what you have to do, and I'm not going to spoil it, but it's amazing. And again, there's a nice little like kind of underbelly here to the city that you can head down into. So yeah, there's quite a bit to do here. For those wondering about like collectibles and things like that, on top of the gems, there is kind of a certain quest that runs through the game where you have to find certain people that are spread throughout each of the zones. And so along with that comes a lot of exploration. Of course, there's a trophy associated with that too. So yeah, there are like good reasons to end up exploring through the zones. You will end up doing it a lot as well on the missions themselves, so you will get to see a lot of this, a lot of the game, obviously, you know, just through the missions. And then yeah, the rest of it kind of comes up to exploration. So anyway, that is the fourth of the 4 worlds, essentially what I thought the game was going to be comprised of. Again, if you look at the world map, you'll see that these are the four areas of the world here. So yeah, that is the 4 worlds. Now, that is not the entire game. I will show you a little bit more. So the game is comprised of those 4 kind of areas of the big town. Oh, and I'll show you one more thing, just so you can see it. So I keep showing you me zoning through each of the areas, going through the sewer. You absolutely do not have to do that. It's just a quick way for me to get around and know exactly where I'm heading to, but you can always see areas in the distance and send yourself to them. So for example, I see an area far off here. And occasionally you will get just a quick second of loading when you do this because you're flying so quickly at something. You know, it has to draw it in, but occasionally you don't. So you'll see here I've flown right back into Industrie. And there you go. I don't know if you noticed that, but a quick hiccup there just to get the quick loading in. But again, nothing too jarring, and it only happens when you're like flying at full speed. When you fly into the air and you press X, you get an extra boost, and when you do that, you can kind of trip the game up a little bit just because you're going so ridiculously fast flying across the open world. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that, yeah, you can absolutely navigate between the 4 areas without zoning, without loading, without having to go through a screen. Yeah, absolutely, the game is completely open world. Alright, so anyway, let me show off the rest of the game. Let's see, let me find a manhole here. We'll head here. Alright, and we'll head down. And these are areas that you encounter throughout the game, basically. And again, I'm not going to spoil anything, but yeah, these are the other areas of the game. Now, there are a few areas of the game, and I don't really mean areas. You'll have to play through the game to see what I mean, but you cannot go back and play, and there's a decent reason for that. It's not something you really would want to go back and play. But so you can't go back and play a couple of things, but overall, you can come back and see each area in the game, each of the main areas here. So there's the main 4 parts of the city there, and then there's kind of an older city, and then there are 3 what I call dungeons, and I'm not sure what the exact terminology would be on them. I call them dungeons simply because it's more battling your way through to the end rather than, you know, just this big open exploration area. So first, why don't I take you to kind of what, you know, the old town here. And this is called Butta. Yeah. So again, you originally obviously end up here, you know, as part of the game, but now I can go back anytime and kind of show it off. So here we go. This is Butta here, and yeah, you'll see the sky here is red. And this reminds me a little bit of the Ewok village from Star Wars Return of the Jedi. But yeah, there's not a whole lot to do here, to be quite honest. There's a little bit to do here. And yeah, again, trying to avoid saying too much, but there, you know, you can fly around. Obviously, this is just like another town here. It's not connected to the main area above. At least not directly. Again, you'll have to play through the game to see what I mean about that. But yeah, this is kind of like a village up in the trees here. And the music kind of has a bit of a, I don't want to say creepy, but kind of a foreboding feel to it. Again, the soundtrack for this game is spot on. I wouldn't even say there's like a single average track on there. The whole thing just blew me away. I was so surprised and happy with the soundtrack. And back here there are challenge missions. I talked a little bit about those in my last video. So this is like a time limit battle. There are challenge missions here. So this functions as a town basically. So similar to the city above. Okay. Anyway, that's that one. So yeah, kind of an Ewok village vibe going on there. So let's head back, and I will show off the three, again, what I call dungeons. So a decent bit of a load here. Obviously heading back to the huge city. So here we go. These are the three dungeons here. And again, obviously you encounter them through the course of the game. And here at the end I can be sent back to them. So here's the first one. Some of my favorite music in the game here. This is kind of the Inferno. Really like the music here. So I'll head down in here. Use the gyro here for my slide. Obviously I kind of botched that. So anyway, I'll show you just a little bit about these dungeons. I'm not gonna, like, you know, play through them or anything like that. But yeah, essentially these are dungeons, and the goal is to basically kill all the enemies here. That would be these guys. I'll show off a little bit of the combat just because I realized I didn't really do much of that in the last video. So you have gravity kick, like so. You have a regular combo, obviously, that you can do. It doesn't work very well on these guys, so hold up. Let me dispose of these guys. You have special moves, so I'll show one of those off here. There are three of these special moves in the game. So this is obviously just one of them. But basically you summon up a bunch of rocks and destroy stuff. Pretty awesome. Those moves are really helpful. And then once the red color regens in the middle there is when I can use it again. Here's the regular combo I was talking about. So pretty long, decently long combo there. You also have kind of a stomping kick like that, up and down. You can jump kick, and again the gravity kick by pressing square. And the farther out you are, if you hit an enemy with that, the more damage it does. So it can be pretty damaging. It's aside from the specials, it's the most powerful move. It's also pretty hard to use sometimes because you wanna get a decent distance between the enemy and your kick, but sometimes you really just can't because they end up moving a little bit. Anyway, let's head just through here just a little bit, and I'll show you what this is all about. So you can see, obviously, it's called the Inferno. It is an Inferno. It's a fire dungeon. And just like the cities and the dungeons here, they're not completely straightforward. There are some side things to do, which is always really fun, which is obviously why the game lets you come back to them at the end here. So you kind of go through these like tunnels here before you pop out into the open areas. Yeah, and then obviously if I, hit the walls or anything like that, I take damage. So there are some structures up here. Yeah, anyway, this is the Inferno area. I'm not going to show the whole thing off. You have crazy flying enemies like these. Yeah. So anyway, that's Inferno. Back out there. And technically it's a mission, so you retire it. And two other dungeons to show, and that basically makes up, the explorable areas of the game, I guess I will say. Yeah, so we'll get to these other two. Again, good music going on with these, and just, a nice variety. It's cool because, you have the main city, which is the 4 areas of that city, but I mean, it is a city, so, you're getting a city vibe from the entire game. It's nice to have these dungeons. They're really kind of strange places. They're completely different. Obviously what you just saw, Inferno, was unlike anything I showed you before. It's just awesome. And these other two places are also very different, so. Alright, so we'll head on to this next one here. And this is the ruins. So again, it's a dungeon. The point is to defeat the enemies, and it'll kind of point that out to you. But this one has even a lot more exploration than the Inferno. Obviously, the Inferno is kind of an enclosed area. You can head all the way up, all of these objects here. You can head down. So for example, if I want to, you can kind of see that these pillars head down into the ground. Or down, down somewhere. Yeah, you can follow it all the way down to the bottom. And obviously I'm falling quite a ways. Just want to show off again the incredible scope of this game. It's kind of insane to get this kind of thing on a handheld. And there we go. I went too far, but I mean, you can see how far I went before it actually zoned me out. You can go quite a distance away. You can fly, almost into forever here. So yeah, I'll fly up this one a little bit. You can get a bit of a feel for this. But again, yeah, this is the ruins. And of course, the point of the dungeon again is to kill the enemies and proceed through it, essentially. But I have no problem proceeding through it, without killing the enemies. Let's head down here. And again, I mean, you can see how fast I'm flying. I'm flying really, really quickly now, and these platforms and things are just really far away. It's just crazy, the whole scope of the game. Kind of land in here. So yeah, this is the ruins. So you get the city vibe here. This part is actually a piece. I don't want to say the exact piece, although it might be similar to what they used in the demo. So if you played the demo, or if you saw the demo video, this is where you fought that boss at the end of the demo, right here on these steps. However, this is also very similar to a part in Old Noah as well. So yeah, so that is ruins there. Wrong menu. And yeah, I'll show you the last one here. And the last one is called Mirage. And again, a decent load here every time I head back, just because it's getting the whole big city up. Here we are. Alright, and here is Mirage. And this is another really, really open one, kind of like Ruins, where you kind of head up these mushroom lily pad type things here. And there's quite a bit to do. There are things to find and do in here that aren't just related to killing a bunch of enemies. So there's a good reason to explore these places in the first place, as well as to come back and explore them at the end. And I'm also wondering if they'll add anything more in downloadable content that will utilize these areas. So yeah, you got kind of an industrial looking thing here in the middle, but it's got all these lily pads and stuff attached to it. It's kind of cool. I really like these areas just because they're so different, again, from the whole city vibe, which is awesome. It's almost like fantasy in a way inside the game. It contrasts with the actual areas really well. And you'll see, sometimes with these too, they're kind of floating in the air, so it's hard to know exactly, or it's hard to remember exactly where you're at with gravity. That is not actually the ground, so it's on the side like that. This is actual gravity, so that kind of stuff is just awesome. It's really, really cool. Let's see where gravity's at. Yeah, so this is actually the ground, so you'll see that floats completely on its side up there, suspended in space, which is really cool. So anyway, that is Mirage there, and that is the end of the tour of Gravity Dazes. Huge areas there, and again, I didn't really show off, obviously didn't show off everything, and you didn't even get to see a lot of, especially the 4 big cities at the beginning. But there it is. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Keep checking back for more videos. I'll be doing more on Gravity Daze, as well as my blog will be coming up with a review of the game and some other things, so keep checking back. Thanks for watching.